What did we discuss in the last theory class? Hmm? Students?
Second method.
Secant and neutral reaction. Na? We have discussed so far bisection, regular forces, secant and neutral reaction. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss one more method which is called as successive approximation method or general iteration method, and then we will discuss the order of convergence of all the methods we have studied so far. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss one more method which is known as successive approximation method or general iteration method. Let me write down general iteration method or successive approximation method. So the equation is f of x equals to 0. This is the equation which is given to you, and our aim to find a root of f of x equals to 0 in a certain interval. You will decide in which interval you want to find out the root. Okay, that you can do by checking simply the sign. If the sign of the function at the point a and b are of opposite sign, that means it has a root in the interval a comma b. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you will decide in which interval you want to find out the root. So the equation is f of x equals to 0, and your aim is to find a root in the interval a comma b. So what shall we do? How shall we proceed in this particular method? So we'll write down f of x equals to 0 as x equals to phi of x. We'll separate x somehow and we write down x one side and remaining term on the right hand side. Let me make it clear for you. So suppose the equation is x cube minus 5x plus 1 equals to 0. So tell me, does it have a root between 0 1? Does it have a root between 0 and 1?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is f? Suppose f of x is x cube minus 5x plus 1. Okay, what is f of 0? 1. What is f of 1?
1 minus 3.
Minus 3. So they are of opposite sign. That means the graph is continuous function. So it is changing sign from positive to negative. So it must cross x-axis. So the point where it crossing x-axis, that is the root. So it has a root between 0 1. So how can we write down this f of x equals to x cube minus 5x plus 1 as x equals to phi of x? Tell me one such phi of x. If I want to write down f of x as x
X
equals
cube
to
plus
phi of
1
x,
by 5.
okay, so x equals to x cube plus 1 by 5. So this is one such way to write down. Can you tell me any other way to write down x equals to phi
1
of x?
minus 5x की power 1 by 3.
1 minus, okay, 1 plus 1, sorry, 5x minus 1. 5x minus 1 power 1 by 3. Any other way to write down? Yes, x equals to x cube minus 4x plus 1. Any other way to write down? There are several other way. You can manipulate in different way. So these are some possible way to write down the equation f of x equals to 0 as x equals to phi of x. Is it not it?
Yes, sir.
This arrow is wrong indicated. It should have been from here to here. Here to here. Okay. So you will write down the given equation as x equals to phi of x in this form. Now what you will do, you will create an iterative method from this expression. So call this expression 1, and from this expression 1 you create an iterative method. So create iterative method xn plus 1 equals to phi of xn. Choose initial guess x naught. Then from x naught you create x1 by calculating phi of x naught. Then from x1 you create x2 by writing x2 equals to phi of x1, and so on. So this is the general formula or general rule. Create the points. Okay, n is greater than equals to 0. Or n equals to 1, 2, 3, and so on. N equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. So the question is, let me name this formula, equation number 2. So the question is, if you choose any point x naught between the interval a comma b, you want to find out the root of f of x equals to 0 in the interval a comma b. So choose an initial guess x naught which lies in the interval a comma b. Okay. Now the question is, the points which you are getting, the sequence of points. The sequence of points are what? X naught, x1, x2, x3, and so on. Is not it? So normally what happens? This sequence of points, they converge to the
Root, sir.
roots
Root, sir.
root of the equation in the interval a comma b. So does the sequence converge to the root in the interval a comma b always? That is first question. And if the answer to the first question is no, then how to choose the function phi? How to choose proper phi, function phi of x, such that the sequence will converge to the root? Is not these are not the valid question? Are not the valid questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see how to answer this. So let us consider the given example. The equation is x cube minus 5x plus 1 equals to 0. Okay, with that we'll analyze the answer to the first question. So f of x, let me write down. So the equation is x cube minus 5x plus 1 equals to 0. That is very simple equation. It has a root in the interval 0 and 1. We have seen it. So I'll consider three cases. I'll consider three representation. Those three representation we have written. So this can be written as x equals to, first one was what? X equals to x cube plus 1 by 5, x cube plus 1 by 5. Second one was x equals to 5x minus 1 power 1 by 3, and the last one is x equals to x cube minus 4x plus 1, x cube minus 4x plus 1. So what is the iterative method for the first representation? That will give you xn plus 1 equals to xn cube plus 1 by 5, is not it? And next representation will give you xn plus 1 equals to 5xn minus 1 power 1 by 3. Okay, and third representation will give you the iterative method. The general formula: xn plus 1 equals to xn cube minus 4xn plus 1. Is it okay to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now choose one initial guess in this interval. So let x naught equals to 1. So I have chosen one initial guess, x naught equals to 1 in the first representation. So tell me what is x1? Calculate few points. What is x1?
Zero
1
point
cube
four.
plus 1 cube plus 1 by 5. So 2 by 5, that is 0.4. Okay. What is x2? Tell me. 0.4 cube plus 1 by 5. Calculate and tell me.
0.28.
0.28. 0.28. Please check it again. Is it 0.28?
1.8.
हाँ
0.2128.
नहीं
Zero
आप
point two one two eight.
आप कोई भी बता नहीं पा रहा है सही से हैं 0.4 क्यूब 0.4 just 0.2128. Okay, so 0.2128. And what is x3? 0.2019. So let us see first. Where is the root? What is the exact root of the equation in the interval? So let us plot it. This Morse graph plotter. What is the curve? Y equals to x cube minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so we want to, so this equation has three roots. So we want to find out the root between 0 and 1. We want to find out the root between 0 and 1. And what is the root here? Look at the screen and tell me. What is the root between 0 and 1?
0.20164.
0.2016, and other roots are, one is less than 2 and another is greater than 2. So we want to find out the root in the interval 0 and 1. We have mentioned specifically. Okay, so look at the screen now. Does it converging towards the root 0.2016? If you wish, you
Yes,
can write
sir.
down few more results.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us look at the second representation and tell me if we choose the same point x naught equals to 1, what will be x2? What is x1? 1.5874. What will be x2 and then what will be x3? That will be enough to tell you what is the behavior of these points. And same thing I'll be asking you in third representation. So tell me what is x2 in the second representation quickly.
1.8.
Okay, you can 1.894. Not Exactly. You check your calculation again. 1.9072 and x3 will be 2.0437. So does it converging towards the root in the interval 0, 1?
No, sir.
It is converging to the root greater than 2. It has a root greater than 2 point something. So it is moving towards that, is not it? You look at the graph, it has a root in the greater than 2 point something. The root is 2.128. So it is moving towards that. Though you started from x0 equals to 1. And in third case, what is happening? What is x1?
-2.
Then what is x2?
1.
Then it will be again -2. So you tell me what is happening in case 1. In first representation, it is moving towards the root in the interval 0, 1, which we aimed for. In the second representation, it is not converging towards the root in the interval 0, 1, but it is rather converging towards the root outside of 0 and 1. And in third case, it is not at all converging to anything, is not it?
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes,
not
sir.
at all converging to anything. Okay. So the question is, the answer to the first question is, it depends on how you are choosing the phi function. It depends on the choice of the convergence. Depends on the choice of phi of x and also the initial point x naught. Also the initial point x naught. Okay, can you tell me what will happen if you start with, in the second representation, if you start with, let's say, 0.4 instead of 1, if we start with x naught equals to 0.4, what will happen here? If we choose x naught equals to, let's say, 0.4, x naught equals to 0.4, can you tell me what will be x1? Tell me at least one value.
1, sir.
1.
0.4 में 1 हो रहा है. ओके, नहीं तब तो फिर भी उधर चला गया. 0.4 से भी छोटा होना पड़ेगा. So suppose it is 0.3, so that the value is less than 1. Okay, what will happen if it is 0.3? Later I'll tell you why I am doing this. What will be x1? 0.79, and now you keep on, no, still it will not be converging. In the next iteration it will be greater than 1. It is not happening anyway. So we have seen the convergence depend on the choice of the function phi of x, also the initial point x naught. So second question is, then how to choose phi so that it will be converging towards the desired root we are looking for? How to choose the function phi of x? So now I'll be trying to answer the second question. Okay. So what is the iterative method we have created? Xn plus 1. So the equation is f of x equals to 0, which has been written as x equals to phi of x by for some phi, and from there we are getting the iterative method as xn plus 1 equals to phi of xn. Now we want to find out a root. We want to find a root in the interval a comma b. Okay, so let alpha be the exact root in the interval a comma b. Then what is phi of alpha? What is phi of alpha? If alpha is the exact root, what is phi of alpha?
0.
0. F of alpha equals to 0. Phi of alpha 0 नहीं होंगे. Phi of alpha equals to alpha. F of alpha 0 होंगे. पर what is f of alpha? F of alpha को ही तो हम लोग ने लिखे थे x equals to phi of x. तो क्या होंगे? Alpha equals to phi of alpha, is not it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So look at this expression. Now look at this expression. Alpha minus xn plus 1. That will be equals to alpha is phi of alpha. And what is xn plus 1? Phi of phi xn. Now you assume that while you choose this phi function, you choose phi function in such a way that it is differentiable in the interval a comma b. Okay, so phi function has to be differentiable. That is the first criteria in the interval a comma b. So if the phi function is differentiable in the interval a comma b, then apply Lagrange mean value theorem, and what will happen to that? What is Lagrange mean value theorem? Phi alpha minus phi of xn will be equals to what is f of b? Okay, so that will be alpha minus xn into phi dash c1, where c1 will be certain point in the interval alpha to x1 open interval alpha to xn, is not it? What was the Lagrange mean value theorem in the interval a comma b? fb minus fa equals to b minus a into f dash c. C belongs to the open interval a comma b, is not it? That was the Lagrange mean value theorem, LMBT. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
here phi alpha minus phi xn is alpha minus xn into phi dash c1. C1 is a point lying between open interval alpha comma xn. Again I will repeat that. So alpha can be written as phi of alpha and xn can be written as phi of xn minus 1 into phi dash c1. Okay, so apply Lagrange mean value theorem one more time. So this will be alpha minus xn minus 1 into phi dash c2 into phi dash c1. c2 will belong to alpha to x n minus 1. Okay, now repeat this procedure. Starting point is x naught, so you can repeat that procedure up to x naught. So if you repeat it, what it will be? Alpha minus x naught alpha minus x naught and into phi dash tell me. How many constants will be there? Phi dash cn, phi dash cn minus 1 up to phi dash c2, phi dash c1. In each step, you will get one such phi dash, is not it? And you know,
Yes, sir.
so this is the expression you are getting. Here C1, C2 up to Cn, they all will be belonging in the open interval a comma b. Alpha comma xn, that is subset of open interval a comma b. So all these points will be belonging to the open interval a comma b. Take modulus both side. So alpha minus xn plus 1 will be Tell me, less than equals to alpha minus x naught phi dash cn mod phi dash cn minus 1 phi dash c1. So you suppose that each of these derivative, there are certain derivative in the open interval a comma b, is not it? Derivative of the phi function in the open interval a comma b. So you also assume that derivative of the phi function in the open interval a comma b is bounded by k. So first thing you assume that the function phi has to be differentiable. Second criteria is the derivative of the phi function has to be bounded. Whatever phi function you are choosing while creating the iterative procedure, xn plus 1 equals to phi xn, that phi has to be differentiable and the derivative of the phi function in the interval a comma b in which you want to find out a root, the derivative has to be bounded. So let phi dash x that is less than equals to k for all x belongs to the open interval or closed interval a comma b. Then what will happen to this expression? Tell me. Alpha minus xn plus 1 will be less than equals to alpha minus x naught into k power
N.
n. So what is alpha minus xn plus 1? What is the term used for alpha minus xn plus 1? That is error in sorry, that is error in nth step. So that error in n plus 1th step. So that error should be decreasing as the iteration is increasing. Then only you will get the root, is not it? Xn should be converging towards the value alpha. That means what? Difference between alpha minus xn plus 1 should be tending to 0. This limit should be 0. So for which values of k, this limit will be tending to 0. Alpha minus x naught, that is a fixed value. K is upon u. So tell me the values of k for which limit n tends to infinity, alpha minus xn plus 1 will be tending to 0. Limit n tends to infinity, mod of alpha minus xn plus 1 equals to 0 if and only if
K lies between 0 to 1.
k lies between 0 to 1. K is a positive value, it is a bound, na? Mod value is, so k is, if k is this, is not it?
Yes, sir.
So what is k? K is the maximum value of the derivative of the phi function in the interval a comma b. अगर वो डेरिवेटिव वैल्यू का डेरिवेटिव का मैक्सिमम वैल्यू 1 से छोटे होते हैं ए कॉमा बी इंटरवल में, तभी जाके एक्सएन जो सीक्वेंस बना वो अल्फा की तरफ कन्वर्ज करेंगे. सो आर्बिटरी फाई फंक्शन चूज करने पे आपका जो सीक्वेंस जो इटरेशन फॉर्मूला बनेगा that may not be converging towards the root. So how, what is the sufficient condition? That the derivative of the phi function has to be less than 1 for all the points in the considered interval. So this is the criteria. Hence successive approximation method converges when phi dash x is less than equals to k less than 1 for all x belongs to the considered interval a comma b in which you are planning to find a root. So now आप देखिए हम लोगों ने जो फाइव फंक्शन को चूज किए थे in each three case, tell me what is the maximum value of phi dash x in the interval 0 1. Sorry, tell me here. Okay, so tell me what is phi dash x.
3x in square.
Phi dash x maximum value of this is less than equals to, tell me,
3.
in the interval
Three.
0 comma 1. 3 by
3, sir.
3.
3 by 5, sir.
3 by 5, sir.
3 by 5, which is less than 1, is not it? For all x belongs to 0 1. That is why this method is converging towards the root. कोई भी आप इनिशियल वैल्यू चूज कर लीजिए 0 से 1 के बीच में, कोई भी आप इनिशियल वैल्यू चूज कर लीजिए 0 से 1 के बीच में. ऐसा नहीं कि 1 ही चूज करने हैं, आप 0.5 चूज कीजिए, 0.1 चूज कीजिए, 0 चूज कीजिए, कोई भी आप चूज कीजिए. दैट value will be leading towards the root in the interval 0 comma 1. Second case में what is phi dash x? Phi dash x, what is the maximum value in the interval 0 comma 1? Max of mod phi dash x equals to, tell me. Anybody? It will be coming 5 by 3.
5 by 3.
So it is greater than 1. So it is not less than equals to 1 for all x belongs to the interval 0 comma 1. That is why it is not converging towards the root. And in third case, it is never 1. It is never 1 for no values of x. For no values of x, max of phi dash x is greater than equals to 1. So that is why in this case it is not converging to any root. And remember, this criteria is sufficient condition, not necessary. अगर डेरिवेटिव ऑफ फाइव फंक्शन अगर 0 से छोटे होते हैं, 1 से छोटे होते हैं, तो आपको हमेशा रूट मिलेगा. अगर 1 से बड़े होते हैं तो मिल भी सकते हैं, नहीं भी मिल सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इन दिस केस, इन सेकंड केस. Okay, but you cannot work with arbitrary manner. You must have to sure for which phi function you will get a root. Okay, so you will be choosing the phi function in such a way that the derivative of the phi function is less than 1 in the considered interval. Is that clear to you how this successive approximation method works?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next we are going to discuss order of convergence. Now this time I will be teaching you from the PDF. I will not be deriving all the results because derivation will take huge amount of time and there is not much thing to understand. I will be explaining from the PDF. So order of convergence. So order of convergence tells you how quickly a method converges towards the solution. So what is the mathematical formula? So the mathematical formula is that suppose you have one iterative method, and using that iterative method you have obtained a sequence of points x0, x1, x2, x3 and so on, and that sequence of points is converging towards a root alpha. Sorry. So we say that the method has order of convergence p. So we say a method has order of convergence p, okay, if p is the largest positive number such that error in n plus 1th step, which is xn plus 1 minus alpha. Alpha is the exact root, xn plus 1 is the approximate root in n plus 1th step. If that error is less than equals to some constant c into the pth power of the error in nth step. So error in nth step is xn minus alpha power p. So if the sequence which has been obtained from an iterative method, if those sequence of points satisfy this particular relation where p is the largest positive number, okay, then that p is called the order of convergence of that method. Alpha is the exact root. And c is any number, not any number, a particular number which will be fixed for an iterative method, which is a positive number, c is greater than 0. Okay, so you understand one more time what is happening here. So p will be called the order of convergence of the method if the error in n plus 1th step is less than equals to c time the pth power of the error in nth step. Okay, so you recall what was the order of convergence of bisection method? I mentioned something. Bisection method, what was order of convergence? I said it has order of convergence 1. What about regular Falsy method? I said it has order of convergence 1. What was second method? I said it has order of convergence 1.62, the golden ratio number. What is order of convergence of Newton-Raphson method? What did I say?
2.
How much?
2.
2, sir.
And successive approximation method has order of convergence 1. So let us understand, if order of convergence is more, that will give you more rapid solution. Let us first discuss this, how it is written there. So suppose you have two methods, you have method 1 and you have another method, method 2. Okay, so in method 1, okay, in nth iteration it is said that the error is bounded by error is less than 0.001. What is the meaning of that? Error means the approximate value xn nth iteration. Okay, xn minus alpha, that is less than equals to 0.001. 0, 0, 1. Okay. And same error is also for method 2. We'll assume that same error is there. Error is less than equals to 0.001 in method 2 also. So in nth iteration, both the method, the error is bounded by 0.001. Is that clear to you? You have two iterative methods. In both the iterative methods, at nth stage, the error is less than 0.001. Is that clear to you? The difference between approximate value and exact value is less than 0.001. Now we want to find out what will be the error bound in n plus 1th step. What will be the error bound in n plus 1th iteration? We want to find out in method 1 and method 2. Now suppose method 1 has order of convergence 1 and method 2 has order of convergence 2. So it has order of convergence. We'll assume different order of convergence to understand what is happening. So method 2 has order of convergence 2. Okay. And suppose method 1 has order of convergence. Tell me, it has order of convergence 1. Okay. Order of convergence 1. That means what does mean by that? P equals to 1. And what is the value of P in second method? Okay. P equals to 2 in second method, is not it? And to compare mathematically, what will assume that this C value in both cases is same. We'll assume that this C value in both cases, both methods are same. So C equals to, I am assuming 1 in method 1. Also I am assuming C equals to 1 in method 2 to make the comparison consistent. Okay. So tell me, what will be the error bound in n plus 1th iteration in method 1? What will be the difference between approximate root and exact root in method 1? What is this difference? Xn plus 1 minus alpha. Use the star. That is the definition of error order of convergence. What is that value? Xn plus 1 minus alpha is less than equals to C times Xn minus alpha power P. C is 1, P is 1. So that is less than equals to Xn minus alpha. And what is that value? 0.001. And what will happen to the error in second method? What will be that value? What will be the bound of the error in n plus 1th iteration in method 2?
10 to the power minus 6.
Huh?
10 to the power minus 6.
10 to the power minus 6. How 10 to the power minus 6? You use the result. Xn plus 1 minus alpha is less than equals to Xn plus 1 minus alpha less than equals to C times Xn minus alpha power P. What is value of C and P in method 1? In method 2? 1 into Xn minus alpha power 2. And what is the maximum value of Xn minus alpha in method 2? 0.001 power 2. That is less than equals to 0.000001. Is that clear? So this will be 0.000001. So in error in n plus 1th iteration is less than this value. In which case the error is smaller? In method 1 or method 2? In nth iteration, if the error is known to you, what is the amount of error in n plus 1th iteration? In which case it is smaller? In method 2. So the method, you see, in one case the error was bounded by 0.0001, and in another case the error was bounded by 0.000001. So the method which has a higher order of convergence, in that case the error will be moving towards 0 very quickly, is not it? Every time the error will be squared, and if it is a less than smaller quantity, when you make it square, it becomes smaller. So error is diminishing to 0 very quickly, very rapidly. Okay. So now we'll be discussing how do we determine that bisection method has order of convergence 1, regular policy method has order of convergence 1, second method has order of convergence 1.62, Newton-Raphson method has order of convergence 2, and successive approximation method has order of convergence 1. So let me open the PDF, the lecture note, open with Microsoft Edge. Okay. Are you able to see the PDF which I have opened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first is bisection method. Okay, you read from this PDF the derivation of the order of convergence of each method. So in bisection method, what we do? In each iteration, what is happening? In each iteration, the length of the interval is becoming half of the original interval, half of the length of the interval in nth iteration. Is not it? If the length of the interval in nth iteration is L, then what is the length of the interval in n plus 1th iteration, which contains the root?
L by 2.
L by 2. So in each iteration, the length of the interval which contains the root is becoming half. Okay. So error also will be half. Huh? So error in n plus 1th iteration, that is given by mod of xn plus 1 minus alpha, that also will be less than equals to half time. The maximum amount of error in n plus 1th iteration will be less than equals to half time the error in nth iteration, is not it? Because length of the interval in nth iteration is becoming half of the length of the interval in nth iteration. So that is the reason here writing mod of xn plus 1 minus alpha is less than equals to half of xn minus alpha. So if you compare it with the definition of order of convergence, what do you see? What was the order of convergence definition? It was this: mod of xn plus 1 minus alpha is less than equals to c time mod of xn minus alpha power p. That p value is called the order of convergence, and here this c has to be a positive number. So if you compare this expression with this expression, what do you see? What is the value of c?
1 by
1 by 12. What is the value of p? 1.
1.
So from that definition, you see this bisection method has order of convergence 1. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the derivation is nothing, not much. Only mathematical explanation language is there for bisection method. Now I'll be explaining the order of convergence of Newton-Raphson method first, because that calculation will be a bit easy compared to second method. So I'll go to Newton-Raphson method first. Bisection method, then Newton-Raphson method. So this is the Newton-Raphson method. What is the formula? Do you recall? Let me hide it and tell me the formula. What is xn plus 1? Sorry. What is xn plus
Sir,
1 in
xn minus
Newton-Raphson?
f xn by f dash xn.
xn minus f xn by f dash xn. That is the formula in Newton-Raphson method. So what will be error in n plus 1th step? This mod of xn plus 1 minus alpha, if alpha is the exact root, is not it? Xn plus 1 minus alpha, that is the error. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are, this is the formula which we have written. So now let's see what we are doing. So we have error epsilon is what? Error in nth step. What is that? Xn minus
Alpha.
alpha. Error in nth step. What is epsilon n plus 1? This let me write down. Error in nth step. Epsilon n plus 1 is error in n plus 1th step. This is the notation. So what is epsilon n plus 1? Tell me quickly.
Xn plus 1 minus alpha.
Xn plus 1 minus alpha. Alpha is the exact root. So what is xn? What is xn? Epsilon n plus alpha. What is xn plus 1?
Epsilon n plus alpha.
Epsilon n plus 1 plus alpha. Is not it? So you see those values are replaced. Xn is replaced with epsilon n plus 1 plus alpha, and xn is replaced with epsilon n plus alpha. You see those values are replaced here. Here you see xn is replaced with alpha plus epsilon n plus 1, and xn is replaced with alpha plus epsilon n. Is it clear to you, this marked line? Is this line okay to you? The marked line which I have written?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what you do? Alpha will be cancelled out from both sides. So epsilon n plus 1 is equals to epsilon n minus f of alpha plus epsilon n by f dash alpha plus epsilon n. Now what I will do? I will expand this using Taylor series formula. I will expand f of alpha plus epsilon n and f dash alpha plus epsilon n using Taylor series expansion. So you quickly tell me what is f of alpha plus epsilon n. I'll write down and then later you see whether I have written it correctly or not. What is f of alpha plus epsilon n using Taylor series? F of alpha plus epsilon n into f dash alpha plus epsilon n square by factorial 2 into f double dash alpha and so on. Is not it? Say something.
Yes, sir.
So exact
Yes,
same
sir.
thing I have written, you see here in the highlighted terms. And what will happen to the Taylor series expansion of f dash alpha plus epsilon n? So you are starting with first derivative. So everywhere one more derivative will be imposed. Is not it? You are starting with first derivative. So in each of the expression, one more derivative will be imposed. So you see, you will get this expression.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what is f of alpha? What is f of alpha? What is f of alpha?
0.
0.
F of alpha is 0. F of alpha is 0. F of alpha is 0. So this term will be cancelled out. Now from numerator you take f dash alpha common, and from denominator you take f dash alpha common, and you cancel them. So from here to here, what I am doing, I am taking f dash alpha common from numerator and also from denominator, and I am cancelling each other. So is this line to this line okay to you? From this line to this line, I am not doing anything else.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now from this line, this mark line here, we are simply representing this quantity f double dash alpha by 2 f dash alpha by a, to make it short, to make the expression look simple. So the expression is now becoming epsilon n minus epsilon n plus a into epsilon n square and higher order terms by 1 plus 2a into epsilon n plus dot 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 the remaining terms. Remember, alpha is a value, fixed value, which is root. So this will be a fixed value. Yes or no? This will be a constant. Yes or no? A is constant. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if I mark this as line number A, so from line number A,
Sir, we have next class. Classes start.
You are not audible, sir.
Hello, students, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
today time
sir.
is over. I was not able to complete it, so I will be explaining in details about the order of convergence of Newton-Raphson method in next class. I'll do the whole calculation again, but for second method and regular false method, you have to study yourself from the PDF. Okay, I'll tell you the logic. So error is very small quantity, so only lowest order term will be written in the expression. Error is very small quantity, less than one quantity usually. So when you square it, it becomes much smaller. So whatever expression you consider, your aim will be to only retain the lowest order term. That is what we have done in Newton-Raphson method. How far you could listen me? Huh?
सर
हाँ हेलो.
नेट ऑन हो रही है.
नेट काम नहीं हो रहा था तो आप कहाँ तक सुने थे?
Unmute.
Anyway, today time is over. So again, I will be explaining this order of convergence in the next theory class. Is that clear? Is that okay to you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. You may leave now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.